We're holding now Parshas Noach Sheni, which is Perek Zayin Pasuk Aleph. The pasuk says, "Vayemer Hashem leNoach." Hashem tells Noach, "Ba ata v'chol beischa el hateva." You, your household, your children should go to the teva. Ki oischa reisi tzadik lefanei b'derazeh. I've seen that you are a righteous man in the generation, and therefore you are fitting to escape with your household and to start the world from anew. Rashi says, Ra'isi Tzadik. Now, the question is, we learned yesterday in Perek Vav Pasuk Tes, the Pasuk says that Noach was a Ish Tzadik Tamim. Now, over here, V'loi Nemar Tzadik Tamim. Here, when it speaks about Noach again, the Torah does not describe that he was a Tzadik Tamim. And the question is why? Mikan, from here we learn, Midas Derech Eretz. She'emrim miktsas shivchei shel adam b'fanav, that when it comes to saying the praise of somebody in his presence, in their presence, only say a little bit. The kulon, however, when you're not shalei b'fanav, the Torah teaches us that when it comes to saying praise of somebody, in their presence only say part of it, but in their absence you should say all of it. And like Rashi in Shas tells us that the Torah is telling us that when you're in the presence of somebody, don't say over all of his presence, because then it looks like you're doing chanifa, you're just trying to suck up to him, which that is not okay. Pasuk Beis, the Pasuk says, Mikol ha'behema ha'taheda, from all pure animals, like Rashi says, animals that are going to eventually be pure, because the Torah wasn't given yet. So what should you do? Tikach lecha shiva, you should take 7 pairs, in other words 14, ish v'ishtei, 1 zocher and 1 nekeva, and u'mena behema ashelei tahidahi, and from the behemoths which are not tar, then shnayim, just take 2, in other words 1 pair, ish v'ishtei, 1 man, 1 male and 1 female. Now Rashi says hat tahira. What does it mean tahira? The Torah was not given yet. So what does it mean tahira? So Rashi says, Ha'asida liyis tahira, which will eventually be tahira, which will be kosher li Yisrael for the Yidden. Madnu, from here we learn, Shalom Noach Torah, that Noach learned Torah, because if he didn't learn Torah, how would he know what is Torah and what is Tameh? From here we learn that he learned Torah. Now, other Mefarshim want to learn that, not that Noach learned Torah, but rather Noach, the Eibishter told him what is Torah and what's Tameh. Other Mefarshim want to learn that Noach knew that whoever came to the teva, if the teva was kailatit, so Noach knew that these are kosher animals. Pasuk Gimel, Gam me'oif hashamayim, not only from the animals should you take, but from the oif hashamayim, shiva. Sorry, I skipped the Rashi. Shiva, you shall take 7. Rashi says, why should you take 7? You should take 7 of each species in order that when you come out of the teva, you should be able to bring karbonis. Again, pasuk gimel, Gam ha'oif hashamayim shiva zachar nekeva. Also from the birds, you shall take a pair 7. Zachar nekeva, a zachar nekeva lechayos zed al pnei chal aretz. The reason why you should take 7 pairs is to keep seed alive on the face of the earth. Rashi says, Gam me'oif hashamayim. So Rashi, the pasuk says, what does it mean, Gam me'oif hashamayim? So Rashi says, b'tahedim hakosim medaber. Torah is speaking about the kosher animals, but non-kosher animals, that you take only 2. Rashi says, v'lo matzasim min hamafurish. We learn the halachas of the bird from the halachas of the animal. And just like by the animal it was 7 and 2, so too by the non-kosher, by the oif, it's the same halachas. Now, it's interesting to note a few things. Is number one, there's a machlekes, when we say shiva, does that mean a pair, which 14, or maybe it means a pair 2 and 2, and the last one is it was to be brought as a korban. So Rashi learns that it was a zug, shiva, it was a zachar nekeva, so it was 14. So Chachamim brings that there are other mefarshim that learn that it was 7. In other words, 3 pairs, so 12. I should say, 6 pairs, which is 12, and then the last one did not have a zug, and that was brought as a carbon. Another difference you see over here, which is interesting to note, that when it speaks about the behema in Pasuk Beis, it says ish v'ishtoi. When it comes to the oif, it says the lashon of zachar nekeva. Why? So there are many answers. One answer I saw is that the behema, the way that they give birth and the way their organs is set up is like a ish v'ishtoi. It's like a man and a woman. So the Torah gives the expression of a ish v'ishtoi. Oif doesn't have children like a man, as we know, eggs, etc. So that's why the Torah uses the expression of zachar nekeva. Which is interesting to note as well, is that the zachar nekeva, the Torah uses the expression the chayis zera pnei chol haaretz. The Torah doesn't use that expression by the behemoth. It could be that, I didn't see this anywhere, but it could be that Noach brought many karbonis in regards to the behemoth. Maybe when it came to the Eif HaShemayim, the purpose was for the Chai Zer Al Pnei Chol Haaretz, nothing to do with bringing karbonis. So I don't know if that's correct, but I was thinking this. Okay, Dalid. The pasuk says, "Ki liyomim eid shiva." The pasuk says that in another 7 days, I'm going to bring rain on the land. It's going to last for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm going to erase all the yakum, which is like the living that I made in the world, mi'al pnei ha'adama, from the face of the Adama, from the face of the world. Rashi says, Kiliyamim eid shiva. Now, Rashi says, what does it mean, Kiliyamim eid shiva? Rashi says, why another 7 days? If the Eibishter said it's going to be 120 years, so why did they wait another 7 days? So there are a few answers. Rashi says, Elu shivas yimei evli shel Mesushelach Hatzadik. They waited 7 days for Mesushelach Hatzadik. He passed away that day, so they sat shiva for him for 7 days. As we know, Mesushelach, he gave birth to Lemech, and Lemech gave birth to Noach. So this was Noach's grandfather. So the pasuk says that they waited 7 days. Shechatz HaKadosh Baruch Hu al chveidoi, the Eibishter was guarded his honor, v'ikev es haporonius, and did not bring the punishment. In order that they should, as the Gemara in Sanhedrin says, they should be maspid him properly. Now, v'ikev es haporonius, now, tzei v'chashev, go and make a calculation from the 969 years that Shizneis of Shel Mesushelach, that Mesushelach lived, v'timtzu shehem kolim b'shnas sheish meis shana l'chai Noach. It comes out that Mesushelach, who lived 969 years, he passed away the 600th year when Noach was 600. As we explained, Mesushelach gave birth to Lemech when he was 187. Lemech gave birth to Noach when he was 182, and which means that he was 369 by Mesushelach. So it comes out 600 and Shin Samach Tes with 600, comes out to the exact date that he passed away. Now, it says, Rashi says, Kiliyomim oid. Now, the Torah should have said, Kiliyomim shiva. What does it mean, Kiliyomim oid? So Rashi says, Mahu oid. What's this lashon of oid? Like an addition? Zman achar zman. Time after time. Zeh noisev al me'av esrim shana. This is in addition to the 120 years of the Gzeira, was another 7 days that he waited. Arboim yoyim. Why did the rain go for 40 days? Rashi says, Keneged Yitziras Havlad. This tells us, as the Gemara tells us, that it takes 40 days for the Yitziras Havlad to form. And the Gemara in Avodah Zarah says that the people of Noach, I should say the date of Noach, they used to bring a lot of mamzerim into the world. So Midah Keneged Midah, Hashem, and especially the way it explains the Chitas, that they had to purify the world from the Yitziras Havlad. That took 40 days. Pasik. So again, Keneged Yitziras Havlad, Shekukol, Latriach Lieshim, Lotzer Yitziras Mamzerim. Pasik, hey, Vayas Noach Chalash Sivo Adinoi, Hashem, Noach did exactly what Hashem asked him to do, to come into the teva, him and his children and everybody. So Rashi says, what does it mean, Vayas Noach, one of Yishtan Shivon? What does it mean, Vayas Noach? Zeh Biyosei L'Teva. This is coming in to the teva. Now, Pasuk says in Zion, we're going to learn Vayavei Noach. So we're going to learn exactly what that means. But Vayas Noach means that he went into the teva. Okay. Pasuk Zion. Vayavei Noach one of Ishtin Shena one of Itel Teva Noach, his sons, his wife, and his wife, and the Shevan of, and the wives of his children went with him in the teva and pnei amabul because of the mabul. Rashi says, the Torah doesn't say that he went mitzad tzivay. It says mipnei amabul. Why? Because Afneach miktani amona hayanech also was miktani amona. He didn't have a lot of amuna. Maimin ve'enim maimin shiav amabul. He believed, but he also didn't believe that the mabul would come. And the only reason why he went, he was forced into the teva because of the water. It says it was a tzaddik tamim. So some of us want to learn is that he thought that maybe Hashem will still have rachmanis and not bring on the mabul. Pasik ches from the pure animal, from the non-pure animal, menahev, and from the birds, and anything that crawls on the ground, they all came, as we learned, during the 7 days, till Yudzayin Mar Cheshvan, they came into the teva. He prepared the animals into the teva for 7 days. Now the pasuk says, "Tes shnayim bo al neach la teva zarchon nekeva." 2 by 2 came to Neach and the teva azarchon nekeva kasher tziva leimes Neach, as Hashem commanded Neach. Rashi says shnayim. So Rashi is telling us that we know that there was Shiva that came to the teva. So what's shnayim? So Rashi says kulam hushvu b'minyan zeh, meaning min hapachis hayu shnayim, that the least were 2. Bo la teva, they came. Rashi says me alein. It doesn't say hu va'u. It says bo, which teaches us me aleihem, that they came on their own. Now the question is that Ramban and other Mefarshim ask. The Torah says in Pasuk Chitas, we learned in Parak Vav Pasuk Chitas, the Torah says tavi ela teva. It's mashma that he brought them in the teva. So the Gurari, other people want to say that when it came to bringing them into the madurin, into the compartments, that he had to tavi la teva, but bringing them to the teva, that they came, like Rashi says, me aleim, on their own. Pasik Yud, vayhi l'shivas hayamim, and it was at the end of the 7 days, or like some learn that it was the morning of the 7th day, which is the last day. Me amabul hayala aretz, the mabul started to be on the land. Pasik Yud Aleph. When Noach was 600 years old, B'Chedesh Hasheni, on the 2nd month, B'Shiva Asar Yom B'Chedesh, which was Yud Zayin, B'Yem Hazan. This day, Nivku Kol Mayonos Tehim Rabba. First, all the springs in the ground opened up. Arubas Hashemayim Miftach, and also the windows of the heavens also opened up to bring rain. Rashi says, B'Chedesh Hasheni, Rabbi Eliezer Eimer, this is a machlekes between Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Eliezer says Yud Zayin is Mar Cheshvan, and Rabbi Yeshua Eimer that it was Iyar, the 2nd month after Nisan. Nivku, what does that mean? Nivku, Rashi says, Nivku kol mayanos tehim rabba lo heitzis memeyan, to open the doors so that the water should come. Tehim rabba, why did Hashem? The Torah says that the Torah calls this water Tehim Rabba. So Rashi says Mida connected Mida. This is Mida connected Mida. Himchatu barabba rasa adam. They sinned with the evil of the man. But laku b'Tehim Rabba. So therefore, since they sinned barabba rasa adam, Hashem Mida connected Mida hit them with the Tehim Rabba. Pasig Yud Beis. The rain was on the world, on the land, on the earth for 40 days, and 40 nights. So Rashi now, Ulahalonu Eimer, Vayihi Hamabel. In Pasuk Zayin, it calls it a Mabel. Why does it say Geshem here? Is it a Geshem or a Mabel? So Rashi says, Ela Kesharid and Heridim Berachmim. When Hashem brought the rain, He brought it Berachmim. Sheim Yichazru Yuk Shami Gishmi Bracha. That if the people are going to do tshuva, it will be rain of bracha. And when they didn't do tshuva, then it became a mabul. So first it started being geshem, and then it turned into a mabul. Rashi says Arbaim Yom. So Rashi says Ein Yom Rishon Min HaMinyan. The first day, which was Yud Zayin, since it started in the morning, that was not considered part of full day. Why? Because it had no night with it the night before. It started only in the morning. Shadiksiv, what does it say in Pasuk Yud Aleph? Bayem hazeh nivku kol ma'ayonis, that all the ma'ayonis were broken or opened. Nimtzu, so it comes out that Arboim Yom Kolim b'Chof Ches B'Kislev l'Rebbe Eliezer. If we pass them like Rebbe Eliezer, so it comes, which we do, so it comes out that on the 28th of Kislev, that's when the Mabul, the 40 days and 40 nights, stopped. Why? Shachadoshim nimnim kisidrim echad malei v'echad chaser. The months are counted kiseder. Now, 1 month is malei, 1 is chaser. Tishrei is a 30-day month. Cheshvan is a choftes. It's only 29 days. Harei shneim asar mimar cheshvan ve'esrim u'shmeina kislev. So it comes out that if it started on the rain started from Yud, so it started Yud Zayin. So Yud Zayin is not counted. So you have from Yud Ches to Chav Tes, so that's 12. And then you have from Aleph to Chav Ches, altogether that's 80. So it comes out that the Mabul, that the first day is not counted. So when, like the Gorari explains, the morning, since you were missing a night, so Erlo Chav Ches, that was a night that completed the first day to make it 40 days and 40 nights. Pasuk Gimel, B'etzem Yom Hazeh bo Noach, on the essence of the day Noach came, V'Shem v'Cham v'Yafes b'nei Noach, and his 3 children, and V'Eishes Noach, the wife of Noach, U'Shleishes and Shevanav, and his 3 daughters-in-law, Itam ala Teva, came to Noach in the Teva. So Rashi, B'etzem Yom Hazeh, what does it mean, B'etzem? So Rashi says, Limedcha HaKosev Shahayu b'nei Deda Emrim. It teaches us that the Shoyim of the generation said, if we see that Noach goes into the Teva, we're going to break the Teva and we're going to kill him. I am going to bring in front of everybody in the essence of the day, as some Mefarshim learn, that it was on a Wednesday and it was very, very hot that day, and he brought out Mamish, the sun, in the fullest mode, and Hashem said, we'll see who hurts who. Pasuk Yidal, Hema v'chol chai lemino, Noach, his children and his wife, v'chol chai lemina, and also the chayis, v'chol behema lemina, and the behemoths and its species, v'chol anemes anemes al aretz lemineo, and all the creeping animals, v'chol ha'if lemineo, and all the birds and its species, called tzipor, called konof, anybody who had feathers, and like we're going to learn, even the grasshoppers, they all came to the Teva. So Rashi says tzipor kol konof, dovaku. In other words, not tzipor doesn't mean that it's 2 things, tzipor and konof, but rather tzipor is dovaku. It's connected. That the kol konof is connected to tzipor. Tzipor shall kol min knof, which means larabis chagavim, to include also the grasshoppers. Kanaf lashon neitza. Kanaf is lashon nutza, is like a feather. Kamei v'shisa isa b'chnofav, as it says in Vayikra, shafilu neitzasa oila, that when they brought a korban, even the feathers went with it. Afkan, so too, tzipor, kol min maris neitza. When it says tzipor, it means that all that has a feathers, even if it doesn't fly, or doesn't have the shame of oif, I should say, like chagavim. Pasuk tezvav yaveyu el neach la teva shnayim shnayim mikol habasar sheberuach hachayim, and they all came 2 by 2 came into the teva. Aboim pasuk tes zayin v'aboim zochen nekeva mikol basar bo kasher tziva yisalihim, and they all came to the teva zochen nekeva. And Noach brought them like Hashem commanded, and the pasuk says, "Vayiskar Hashem ba'adoi," and Hashem closed it. So Rashi says, why did Hashem close it? What does that mean? Vayiskar Hashem ba'adoi. He gonna love shlei shavru. He protected Noach that they shouldn't break the teva. What did he do? He kivat teva dubim v'aroyis v'yohargim mohem. He surrounded the teva with dubim and aroyis, bears and lions. And they would kill the people. Pshulish Mikra and Pashtav Shat is Sagar Kenegding, and Amayim, he closed the door because of the water. Whenever it says Ba'ad, it's like opposite. And Rashi gives a few examples. Ba'ad Kol Rechem. What does it mean, Ba'ad Kol Rechem over there? This means that he closed, connected the body. Ba'adeich Ba'ad Banayich, corresponding to the children. Ur Ba'ad Eirich, Pasuk Iyov says that the derech of people, they give an Aver, connected Aver. Mogin Ba'adi, Ispalel ba'ad avodecha, means kalapi, corresponding to avodecha.